Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment on The Weekend Show. It's barely 7 months to the 2023 elections. Campaign season starts in about 2 weeks from today. What questions are Nigerians asking? What are our expectations? What do we expect to see during the campaigns? How pleased are we about the state of the nation? Could it be electricity? Could it be education? Could it be security or the economy? Could it be the rising poverty rate and the increasing number of unemployed Nigerians? We will be having this conversation on the political segment, and joining us we have...
Pejoy, thank you so much for having me again. It's good to be here.
And our guests?
Our guests we have with us today, we have lawyer, actor, and politician Kenneth Okonkwo. Welcome to the Weekend Show, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers at home.
We also have with us Honorable Mrs. Patience Charles Kwache. She's a politician and a philanthropist.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Kenneth, it's good to have you back on the show. The last time you were here was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And that was on our lifestyle segment on the couch over there. But in full swing politics, I recall in 2019 you were in the APC.
Yeah.
But recently it's been all over the press that you have switched lanes. Tell us about it.
Well, it will be madness to continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. The only thing that is constant is change. And in an evolving society like Nigeria, what should be a driving factor in your life is your principle. The Nigerian Constitution made it clear that your loyalty to the nation must override sectional loyalties. It must override the loyalty you have for any party, for any individual. Nigeria would not be allowed to collapse. In the nation today, the national grid has collapsed 6 times in a year. This year alone, security is nowhere to be found. Abuja is under siege. Terrorists are releasing their prisoners in the prison, in the FCT. After 44 security reports, nothing was done about it. We have an absentee government. There is no fuel, there is no energy, there is no capital, there's no factor of production to help anybody who wants to be a producer. President Obasanjo screamed that the cost of diesel is trying to collapse his businesses. If a former president will be screaming, much more can you understand the screaming of the average Nigerian. Nigeria is facing an existential threat, and the worst thing anybody can do is to keep quiet. We must proceed on a trajectory of change. The whole idea of Labour Party, after having the opportunity to peruse their constitution, is the emergence of a party that can inspire fundamental change in the shape, content, and character of the polities of Nigeria. And this is why I am so much attracted to that direction. One of the aims and objectives of the Labour Party is to create a new Nigerian personality who would be patriotic, altruistic, transparent, committed to due process and rule of law in our governance, in our industry, and in all spheres of our life. Also, they are committed to promote rapid technological and scientific advancement within the shortest possible time that will bail out this country from the present status of underdevelopment, and to do all these things, pursuing it on the basis of principles of integrity. So I am attracted to this Labour group because Labour represents the working class, the farmers, the professionals, the intellectuals, the women, the students, traders, the ordinary Nigerian that has suffered from the heartlessness of these leaders who are now graduating from being bad leaders to evil leaders, because they are stealing even the things they don't need. One person stealing 109 billion naira is lunacy, according to His Excellency Peter Obi. So we are looking for a fundamental change that will transform this economy from consumption to production. If you look at the Labour Party flag, it is divided into two, red and green, in equal proportion, with the family engraved at the center. That red signifies transformation, and the green signifies our agriculture. So we are looking for the possibility of a man who will come in to transform this economy from consumption to production. They have shared the cake. There is nothing to share anymore. So we are looking for bakers of the cake. And this man, from his antecedents, when he came into Anambra State was a debtor state. A debtor state. Anambra State was the only state that could not return their governor after the first term because of how bad the performance was. Anambra State was no-go area. You can't pass it. They didn't have roads. They didn't have economy. They didn't have security. But this man came from a minority party and was firm enough to transform this state from being the 29th in WAEC and NECO to becoming the first. From being a debtor state, he left 75 billion naira. But this government that came in and met money, the APC government, has borrowed so much that their revenue cannot even service their debts. So you can see the difference. We cannot travel through the roads because you will either be killed, kidnapped, or terrorized. You cannot travel through the air because it is too exorbitant. A return ticket from Abuja to Lagos, you'll be talking about 200,000 naira. It has become an exceptional privilege for the rich. You can't travel through the rail. It has been grounded. So Nigeria is yearning, and this may just be our last opportunity from coming back from the precipice. We need a new thing. We need the Labour Party. This is the revolution we have been praying for. And everybody must join this quest for a new Nigeria.
I must say, Mr. Kenneth, I'm really tapping into your passion, even as we go into the election proper. But coming to you, Honorable Patience, the previous dispensation before this one can, and to be honest, can boast about increased participation of women, especially in the cabinet. So that's when we talk about Goodluck Jonathan. But coming into this dispensation, I can't exactly say where they stand. As a young, female politician, what are you looking forward to when it comes to women participation in politics in the coming of the 2023 elections?
Thank you very much. And it's so good to be in the studio. I think this is my third time this year, right? And it's always a pleasure, coming here. My darling, the role of women participation either in the electoral process or, seated on the table can never be overemphasized. Like, I am one of the champions for women inclusion in politics. I contested for the Federal House of Representatives just as primary elections that just passed, and I shared my experience here with you under the platform of the APC, the All Progressive Congress, and it wasn't a good experience, considering the fact that I am a young woman who is passionate about serving, right? Who wants to bring in that change, especially for the women. Yes, you're representing the whole, but this class of women have been relegated to the back. You will agree with me coming from a woman. So I really wanted to change the dynamics. But going into it, I realized that it's a whole lot of problems considering what we're seeing outside there. It wasn't friendly at all, and it was so painful that out of about 8 to 9 women who contested in Adamawa State, only one woman emerged the governorship candidate of the APC, and she did not get it fair. Now, we have been talking about 35% affirmative action across all political parties, the APC, the PDP.
Which I think is underwhelming, to be honest.
It is. We are talking about 35%. This was something that was signed a long time ago. There was an agreement that said we will give you the 35%. But how many women got the tickets? And how many women get nominated as a minister? There are lots of parastatals that don't have DGs. There are lots of parastatals that don't have board members. When you fix a woman there are capable women. Because I keep hearing them keep saying, where are the women? Oh, we are here. I am here.
She is here.
She is here. And there are lots of women here, and there are lots of women that have achieved a lot in Nigerian politics. You talk about Senator Binta Masi Garba. Did amazingly well. This is a name that rings a bell in Nigerian politics. You talk about the young Honorable Stella Okoteti, who is an ED in the Nexim Bank, appointed by the president. She is doing extremely well in that field. Now, there are lots of women that can occupy these spaces and also do well. But our system has relegated us back to be cheerleaders during the campaign. And we women haven't understood the numbers of votes that we have.
So for me, yeah, that's what I think the problem is. So you're in the system. What are you forming any sort of collusion with other women to say, you know what, we have the numbers? If there's anything I know for a fact, I know that women can rally votes. We actually do the rallying of the votes, if we're being honest. The men do the back work, and we go to the streets to actually put the votes in. What are women doing to ensure that they are heard and they are actually going to be represented coming into
now? The first step for me, after sitting down behind my smartphone, my smartphone, always complaining on Facebook and all of that, I told myself, let me go into the terrain. So that was the first step for me. And there were lots of women who came out. We actually saw some reasonable amount of women contested for election this 2022. You agree with me? So lots of posters. First timers, actually. Yes. When I tried and I didn't succeed, then I said it is right for us to bring in the right people who are going to make policies that will benefit us. Because if you look at the policies that are being made on a daily basis in this country, majority of it don't really value the women. And I am a champion for a woman knows the problem of a woman. A man can't tell me what my problem is or what your problem is, but I can tell you how you're feeling per time, because that is how we're wired. So why don't we have women sit on this table and also make policies that will benefit the women, which are the larger constituency of our votes? I looked into it and I said, you know what? I need to get down to my grassroots. Presently, as I'm talking to you right now, I've started a movement. 5 young, agile women like me per ward. I have 16 words in my local government. My sister local government has 10 words, 26 words, which I contested for. Now, in these 26 words, I am having five women across the wards, have a meeting with them, sit down, inaugurate them as the foot soldiers of the wards. Now, each one woman is given a mandate to go and talk to 10. Now, those women, when I went for the selection, you have to have an address, you have to have a voter's card. I got the voter's card number, so I knew that they are real voters. Now, you are charged with the mandate, equipped to go and then bring 10 women. So imagine, the next time I am going now, I am going in for ward-to-ward tour. Now, I am going, the 5 are bringing 10 each, and that 5 are bringing 50. So sitting down with 50 women and saying, look, do we want change? We are the ones who carry our granite to the polling unit to go and sit down there on the queue and vote. We are the ones who go and sell Zobo there to entertain the people voting. We are the ones who defend this vote. The men can come and say, oh, it's too stressful, and I'll go. But we have this resilient spirit. Why don't we speak with one voice? And you see this Adamawa State, we are bringing that woman, that Senator Aishatu Binani, we are bringing her back in 2023 election. Because the women have assured us that it is time to bring a woman.
I agree with you.
Before let me ask Barrister Kenneth's question. We're entering the campaign season. What 3 major areas do you feel the next president of Nigeria should focus on, Honorable Patience?
My brother, the first thing on my list is education. Education. That is the only thing a poor man has. Security. Without security, we can't move. We can see on a daily basis that food is becoming expensive. Why is it becoming expensive? Because these farmers cannot go to the farm anymore. And you want us to depend on agriculture because that's our next oil. We have the fertile lands. We have the manpower. We have the farmers. Protect us and we'll go into the farm. And nobody's going to go hungry. I am really, really looking forward to that area. And number 3, let's be honest with ourselves. Transparency in government is very, very important. You can't keep carrying people, taking people as a ride. What you say today is a different thing you're going to act on tomorrow. And all of that is what is affecting our system completely. Everybody needs to be accountable across every level. And accountability is what we're really lacking in this country. Forget about, oh, this person is coming in with a different idea, this person is coming in with a fresher and all of that. They are all birds of the same feather, but we are going for the lesser devil, if you ask me, in Nigerian politics. Now, what are you coming to do differently? What have you done in previous past? I used to rate leaders based on what they have done. That is the only way you can checkmate them. For me to dare and say I want to contest for an election is because I have been holding one or two things in my constituency and my community which they know. So they were able to verge. A number of them were able to, oh no, she is doing something right. She has done it. Now all of them that are contesting for the presidency, you want to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What have you done with the little opportunity that we gave you? Accountability. Again, I'm loving this energy of what have you done. Barrister Kenneth, so at Reverend Kuka's 70th birthday, a clergyman said, and I quote, "Nigeria is in a state held together at gunpoint. We do not have any shared or core values." While this can or cannot be argued, what do you think? Do you have a rebuttal to that? What is your party, as an obedience, what do you think that Peter Obi is bringing to the table? Because this is in relation to our unity, you know, the oneness of that Nigeria swears that we hold. Do we really, really hold this? Are we really, like this clergyman has said, are we really held together at gunpoint, just like the clergyman said?
Well, the clergyman has actually said what is literally happening in Nigeria. Is Nigeria not under gunpoint of the terrorists, of the kidnappers, of the killer headsmen? Nigeria is under gunpoint of bad leaders which have upgraded their capacity to evil leaders. So what we are talking about now is solution. If you go to the preamble of the Constitution of Labour, you will see that the shift I was talking about is to issue-based identifiable philosophy. And like I told you, the motto of Labour is equal opportunity and social justice. Just like she said, everybody in Nigeria should be given equal opportunity. But there has to be life first before you can even have opportunity. So the security and welfare of the people should be the primary purpose of government, according to Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution. So if you don't get security first, then a living dog will become better than a dead lion. Nigeria is under bondage. And it is not because our armed forces and security forces are not able. But when an army of lions is led by a sheep, all of them will become sheep. So we have to form an army that will be led by a lion, so that our lions in our armed forces, for which they are known for, will arise. So we need a commander-in-chief that will not outsource commanding the troops to his vice president. The vice presidential candidate of APC has made it clear that he's going to be the commander-in-chief, and his president or presidential candidate will become his special advisor in economics. So we don't need such an arrangement. We must know what we are going to vote for. And in 2023, Peter Obi, having run a government of one state, Apuga had only one state in the whole nation, but he was able to articulate the security apparatus of Anambra State and decimated the head of the cults that were terrorizing the whole Southeast. If you heard about OCC Kanko then, that was coming right from another state to terrorize Anambra State, an ambush was laid under the consortium of the security intelligence led by Peter Obi, who was the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, and the guy was liquidated. And every other thing that has troubled Anambra State was liquidated. Anambra State witnessed the greatest prosperity. He entrenched Apuga so much that even when he left Apuga, he couldn't uproot Apuga. Do you know the level of good governance that a man will foster in a state, that he himself cannot even uproot Apuga, even up to now? So we need such a transformational leader, which we have found in this man. We need such a party where equality of opportunity will be granted to all Nigerians. Nigeria is at the threshold of a new dawn, and all of us must endeavor to join this movement. She's crying about women. I'm sorry that she mentioned APC. She may have forgotten that the role of women in APC is in the other room. It was a standard published policy. So I wonder what she's waiting for. Instead of coming into a place where women are regarded as members, equal members in Labour Party. So what I am saying is that you can't expect to do the same thing, and you're expecting is it a magic or miracle? The leader of APC came in and told you that the role of women is in the other room. What are you trying to do? So every woman, every student, every farmer, come into your own party. It is an equal opportunity status. It is our motto, and we can't possibly go away from the motto. So the philosophy of labor is that work and industry should be the basis for the economic empowerment of the people and the prosperity of the nation. We're talking about work, not sharing the money. So that is our logo. If you see the logo of Labour Party, you see that it is a wheel where the man, woman, and child is engraved at the center. That wheel signifies industry and work. We want to take Nigerians back to work. We want to provide the necessary environment. We want to give energy. Without energy, you have no power to work. We want to give the infrastructure. Without infrastructure, you cannot work. To be a barber in Nigeria, you have to be a millionaire, because you have to buy your gen, you have to rent your apartment. Meanwhile, the only thing you just needed was a clipper. If all these things were there. So skills cannot even, bourgeois. It cannot blossom in the environment we are in today. So Labour Party is trying to provide the structure, provide the factors of production, because work is our basic and central aim, to take the people back to work and let them reclaim their country. The difference is that in all these two major political parties who have failed, PDP confessed that they have failed. They have apologized for that. Then APC is building a skyscraper on that failure. So if you allow me, I will tell you that Labour Party is the only party, we don't even have a choice, where equal opportunity should be given to all.
Barrister Kenneth, Honorable Patience, that's a great place to leave it. However, this is part one of this. Next week, we're having the second part of this with both guests still on the show, where we'll discuss and next week we'll be discussing the economy, unemployment, and poverty with both of our guests on this same segment. Barrister Kenneth, great having you. Honorable Patience, also great having you. And to our viewers at home, you can watch this on our YouTube page, The Weekend Show NG. We are also on social media. Check us out at The Weekend Show NG on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow me on social media at Andy Madakan. You can follow Lami.
On Twitter and Instagram at MissLami_A. Thank you.
So our guests will be back next week. But before we go, we'll take a quick break, and we have a special guest wrapping up the show. Thank you very much for joining us. And to our viewers, stay blessed. Catch you after this break as we sign out the show.